2022 Infiniti QX60. What do you need to know about Infiniti's all-new three-row crossover SUV? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. So Infiniti invited me out to their launch event for the all-new QX60, which has been fully redesigned from head to toe. And there's a lot of great information to share about this car, so if you're thinking about buying one of these or a similar three-row luxury SUV, then make sure to stick around to the end of this video. So I'm going to start things off by talking about the design, because that's definitely what this vehicle is all about. It has a very slick, stylish looking exterior design, very eye-catching, definitely grabs a lot of attention, and that seems to be the thing that they think is going to stand out the most about this car. It's a very design-focused car. It's all about the luxury, the way it looks, and that's going to be a huge selling feature for sure. I honestly think this thing looks really good, and it definitely grabs attention when compared to something like a Lexus RX 350, Acura MDX. I think it's right up there with the very best. It's also a very substantial, large-sized SUV. I was surprised seeing it in person how big it actually looks, and that definitely translates to a lot of interior space. This thing is a very spacious SUV. If you're looking for something with lots of room in all three rows of seats, this is definitely going to work for you. Lots of room up front. The second row passengers have a ton of room, and a pretty spacious third row seat too. Accessing the third row seats is very easy too. The second rows slide out of the way very easily, even with a child seat mounted in place, which is kind of a unique feature that you don't normally see. And you can also fold the third row seats into the floor, giving you a huge cargo area. If you're looking for a luxury SUV that's going to be well suited for family use, I think this is going to do the job perfectly fine. It also has a lot of capability and performance. One of the things that really stands out about it is the towing capacity. If you're someone that needs to do a lot of towing, carry a trailer with, say, a boat or something like that, you can tow up to 6,000 pounds with this SUV. Lower trims are around 3,500 pounds, but 6,000 on the upper trim, really good towing capacity. And the performance should be good too. We've got the familiar VQ 3.5 liter V6 engine, which has been in the Nissan Infiniti lineup for a very long time, probably over 20 years now. And the benefit of that is that you know exactly what you're getting. This is a well-proven drivetrain. The engine's not only been around a long time, but it's time-tested in terms of its reliability and durability. So not a whole lot to be concerned about there. Historically, the VQ engine has not been the most fuel-efficient engine, so I can't imagine this thing is going to be the most fuel-efficient large three-row SUV, but it's probably going to be competitive with a lot of rivals. I don't know the exact fuel economy numbers yet, but it's probably going to be average. There is no optional drivetrains. That's the only engine that you can get, so there's no hybrids, no plug-in hybrids, electrification, or anything like that. You go with the 3.5 V6, and that's all you get. What is new though is that you do get an all-new 9-speed automatic transmission. No more CVT from the previous generation model, which was a huge trouble point for this car. Not only did it not give this car very good performance, because CVTs, a lot of people complain about the way they behave, but the reliability of the CVT was not that good either. So that's been completely ditched. Now you have a proper automatic transmission, a 9-speed, which is really good to see. So we'll have to see how that performs. Standard all-wheel drive in Canada. In the States, you can get it with front-wheel drive too, so nothing too surprising there. What is surprising though is how nice the interior is on this car. This is a surprisingly luxurious SUV. I'm just looking around the materials that are used everywhere. The quilted leather on the dashboard. The seats have a quilted pattern too, with the semi-aniline leather on the top trim level. We've got open pore wood trim, leather wrapped on the dashboard. It's a very nicely designed interior, and it definitely feels like a proper luxury SUV. I mean, this thing is obviously not cheap. It's going to cost quite a bit of money. The starting price is just under $55,000, $54,998. It can stretch close to $70,000 Canadian. So a lot of money for this SUV, but it definitely lives up to its price point in terms of the features, the design, the materials that are used everywhere inside. Now let's talk about the features and tech, because that's definitely another standout area for this car. Lots of great tech in here. We've got a large 12.3-inch infotainment system, similar similar to the one that's been used on the latest Nissan models, which is actually a very good thing because it's a very usable, approachable infotainment system. A lot of luxury cars have a problem with not being very approachable. They can be a little bit difficult to use, the tech is a little bit overwhelming, and the control setup using either touchpads or scroll wheels or complicated menu screens, all of that can just be a little bit too much for a lot of people. This is something that's completely different. This is a very simple, approachable interior. I like the way all the controls are laid out. It's not going to take you a ton of time to figure out how everything works in this car. And the graphics, everything looks really nice. Super high-tech, modern, great looking graphics. Of course, you get wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so that's great. We've got a full digital gauge cluster behind the steering wheel, which looks really good. Optional head-up display, and of course, you get optional Nissan Infiniti ProPilot driving assist. So that gives you some semi-autonomous driving capability on highway speeds. So in terms of tech and features, this thing is definitely up there with the very best. I can't really think of anything that you'd be missing out on, to be honest with you. And you can even get nice, unique features like massaging seats for both the driver and passenger seat, which is something that you can't get in the equivalent Lexus, Acura. So is it worth considering one of these over the rivals? That's the question. Infiniti, there's no question about it. It has been struggling as a brand in recent years. The sales have gone down a lot and the brand has just lost a lot of relevance, especially with all of the other luxury brands that it competes with. You know, Acura, Lexus has been doing extremely well, and now we have new entries like Tesla and Genesis that are entering the space. And of course, you have the European brands like BMW, Mercedes, Audi. So a lot of competition, and Infinity's just kind of been falling behind for the last several years. And not only are their cars not as appealing as they ever were before, but the resale value of their cars has gone down. Just overall, they're not doing very well. So this car is intended to be the car that turns the brand around. I think it actually might have what it takes to do that, because if I were shopping for a large luxury three-row SUV, I would honestly consider this. I would definitely take it for a test drive. It has a really nice interior. The tech and features are great. I think the performance is going to be good with that, simple, reliable, well-proven V6 engine. It's got a good towing capability, lots of space, cargo room. So in all of the important areas, it nails. And the pricing, it's competitive in terms of pricing. Not cheaper than the alternatives. It's not a lot cheaper than an Acura or a Lexus. Actually, it's pretty much even with those two, between $55,000 and upwards of $70,000. But it is cheaper than the Europeans. You're gonna pay less for this than a BMW, Mercedes, Acura, or Audi, I should say. So we'll have to see how it does in the long term. Would I consider it? I would probably take it for a test drive, see what you think of it. And if you can get one of these for a really good deal, if Infiniti has some good incentives, and you can get one of these for a much cheaper price than other luxury SUVs, I actually think this thing could be a very good buy, but we'll have to wait and see how it performs when I get a chance to drive it on the road. So stick around for that review in the near future. So let me know what you think of the all-new QX60. Would you consider one of these? Would you buy another three-row luxury SUV instead? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out some of my other videos by looking at these links right over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, you can also check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.